Inside this video topic, we'll discuss the complete concept that how to customize WordPress registration page. Let's go to WordPress admin panel. So first thing first, if I go and click on logout button, so we don't see any register link here. It means I want a link so that after click, we have to open a register page. By the help of that, any user can register to this WordPress website. So right now, there is no registration link. Instead, we have only a single link called lost your password. So how to enable registration feature? So simply, I will go and log in to our WordPress admin panel. Then I will go inside settings, click on general, and here we can see that here we have an option that is membership, and here we can see anyone can register. Simply we have to check that. Click on save changes, settings saved. Let's go and log out one more time. And now we can see that here we have a link called register. So once we click on this register link, now we can see that here we have two input fields called username and email. So once we pass the email value, automatically if we have configured the SMTP details inside our WordPress website, so automatically WordPress will send an email to this email address. And by the help of that link, we can set our password. Now, my task of this video is that if we want to add some more fields to this registration page, how can we add that? What I simply means, first let's go inside our admin dashboard, click on login. So, and let's open a new tab. So if I go into this user section, so right now we have an admin user only. If I click on this admin user, so we can see that here we have to pass the username, email value, then we have to pass first name, last name, website, and the password value. So all these things what basically we have to pass from admin panel to create any new user for this WordPress website. But what basically we want, if I go and click on logout, next I will click on this registration link. And now we can see that inside this register page, here we have two input fields called username and email value. So additionally, we want like along with these fields, we want some more fields like first name, last name, website, and password, so that if we want to create any user from front end of this website, no need to fill rest of the informations from this admin panel. We want to pass all these informations what basically we need to create any user. All information should be passed from this front end, and automatically once we get all those values from user, simply we have to create and save inside our database. So this is the task what we have to do inside this complete video. So basically, inside this video, we are going to customize WordPress by default registration page, and this all task we do by using our own custom plugin. What I mean, simply we have to create a custom plugin inside this WordPress website. So if I enable that custom plugin, so automatically it will go and add some additional fields what we had discussed to this registration page. And whenever if we pass all these informations, click on register button, automatically those informations will be saved inside our database table. And whenever if I go into admin panel, click on edit user, simply all those informations what we have passed while creating that user should be populated on those fields. Now let's get started all about the customization process of this WordPress registration page. Alright friends, now from this video we'll start the process of customization of WordPress registration page. But before that, if you think this video will be helpful, so please give us a thumbs up to this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video in your circle. So what we have to do, simply let's go to browser first, and I will go and log in into admin panel. So admin and admin, click on login. Then I will go into this users menu. So already we have discussed to create any user from this admin panel, we have to pass the informations like username, email, first name, last name, website, and password. So already we have two fields like inside our front end, that is username and email value. So what I will do, let's go and take a screenshot so that we'll have idea that what are the fields we have to create. Now let's go and click on logout, click on register link. So we can see that inside this register page, here we have two input fields called username and email. So what are the fields we have to create? We have to create like the first name, last name, website and password. Now let's go to our code editor. Then I will go inside this WP content, plugins, and here we have to create our own custom plugin setup. So inside this plugins folder, let's create or add a new folder and I will call it as WP custom register fields. And inside this folder, let's create our main plugin file that is wp hyphen custom hyphen register fields.php. And inside here, let's quickly add some piece of comment lines of PHP. So here, multi-line comments. So first thing first, plugin name, let's say WP register page customizer. Then here, description. This plugin will add some additional fields to register page, like we want first name, then we want last name, website, and password, author name, plugin version 1.0. Then we have like more parameters called plugin URI. So for the time being, let's say HTTPS, some example URL. So here, WP custom register plugin. Then also we have got author URI. So let's pass our blog URL. So finally here we have some comment lines to this plugin file. Save these changes. If I go to the admin panel, let's go click on this login link. Again login here. So admin. If I go into this plugins menu, and now we can see that WP register page customizer, and here we have like the description. Then here we have our version number. This is plugin name, plugin description, plugin version. Here we have author, and if I inspect, so we can see that here we have author UI. So successfully now by the help of these comment lines, now we have introduced our custom plugin to WordPress. But our thing is that we have to add our custom fields to our registration page. So here I'll use our first action hook, and that is called register underscore form. And inside this hook, we have to bind a callback function. And by the help of callback function, we have to add additional parameters, additional input fields to our registration form. So if we want to add some custom fields to registration form, simply we have to use an action hook called register underscore form. And here, let's say add, or simply I will call it as WP custom registration field. It means like this is our plugin prefix, something unique value, underscore add custom register fields. Now next, let's copy this callback function. Then I will go here. Let's handle function. So function name, and inside this function, now we have to create our HTML layout. So here, let's close this PHP tag, open PHP tag. Then I will go here. So first I want to create our first name field. So here, let's create a paragraph. First I will create a label and I will call it as first name. And here inside it, let's say first underscore name, the four attribute value. Then we have to pass input type text, name equals to first name. Then here ID equals to first name. If we want to put some placeholder, let's enter first name. Next, after this first name, we can add like last name, our website and password. But for the time being, it is okay. Let's save these changes and see that how it works. So after save, if I go to browser, let's go and activate this plugin so that after activation, our action hook will be triggered and the field that we have created called first name will be added to register page. So click on activate, and now we can see that plugin activated. Then I will go click on logout link. Click on register. And now we can see that inside this register page, here we have one more input field called first name. But I think that adding placeholder is not looking good because already we have two input fields and these fields is not containing any placeholder. So what we can do, just go here and remove this placeholder. Save these changes. If I go and reload, and now we can see that username is okay, email is also okay. Actually, these two fields are by default input fields. Now here we have our own field called first name. So in same pattern, we want like for last name. So what I will do, let's go and add one more paragraph. So label, here we have called last name for attribute value. Let's add our input type text field. So input here, type equals to text, name attribute, last name, ID, it will be last name. Save these changes. If I go and reload, and now we can see we have one more field. So in the same pattern, we want like for the website, password. So inside password, we want two fields called a password like a plain text value. And also we want confirm password so that once we save, so password and confirm password should match. So here, let's create our next field and it will be called website. So let's pass user URL will be the for attribute value and let's call it as website. And here let's input type text. Then I will go and let's put our name attribute and I will call it as user URL. Let's put ID value user underscore URL. Next I will create let's say password. So label here we have called password. Let's call it as password. Then I'll create input type password. So here let's say password. Inside ID, let's call it as password. And finally, we have to create a field for confirm password. So label, let's say confirm password. And inside this for attribute, I will say confirm underscore password. Let's copy, go here and create input type password field name value and ID value. Save these changes. Now, if I go and reload this registration page, and now we can see that here we have our list of fields that actually we accepted to add inside this registration form. So here we have like username, email, first name, last name, website, password, and confirm password. Next, after this, what I will do, I will put some validation and those validation we have to integrate by using a filter hook of WordPress and that will be called registration underscore errors. What basically we want, as we know that while creating any user, now we want all these informations, for example, username, email value, first name, last name, website, password, and confirm password. So what we want that while creating any user, all these fields are mandatory. It means all these are required. User have to fill all these informations. So if suppose user is not going to pass this first name, so in that case, if he click on this register button, simply we have to give an error that is first name is required. So to put our validations, we have to use a filter hook of WordPress and that will be called registration underscore errors. So simply here if I search registration errors Talupe filter, let's hit enter. Let's click on this first link and here I will go and copy this action hook, sorry, filter hook that is registration underscore errors. It will take three parameters. So I will copy, then I will go to editor and here we have our first callback function to create or let's say add fields to registration form or to register form. So this was our action hook for adding fields. Now next, filter hook for form validation. So here, add filter and inside this add filter, this is our hook name. Then we have our callback function. So inside this callback function, let's say that WordPress custom registration form underscore handle underscore validation errors. Now next we have to first pass a priority value. So by default, it took 10 values. So let's say 10 here. And this filter hook, it means this function, what will define as the callback function, it will accept three parameters. So let's pass three here. Save these changes. Then I will copy this callback function and here let's put form validation error object. So here function, function name, and inside here first we have to pass our error object. If I go to the documentation, let's go and scroll. So we can see that once we use this registration errors filter hook, so we have to pass an errors object of this WP error class. Then we have to pass sanitize user login. It means the username and the user email. So what I will do, this is errors. So I will just copy, put it here called errors. Then I will go here. Let's click on this sanitize user login. So simply I will select, let's create our second value of this function and user email will be the third value of this function. Now let's go inside it. So first I will check for first name. So here let's say first name if empty, empty, and inside this let's say post, and the name attribute value of our first name is something called first underscore name. So if this field is empty, first name, if it is empty, so what to do? By using this object, I will copy this object, then I will call add method, and inside this add method, simply we have to store our error message. So here, what I will do, first name underscore error, this is simply a key of that error message, and here the message will be, let's say, first name is required. Save these changes. Now the same condition we have to put our rest fields, for example, our last name like website, password and confirm password. So the same pattern of code. This is for last name. So if empty, and here let's use post method. So last name, and if it is empty, so here errors object, then I will call add method. This is our key for last name error, and here let's say last name is required. Now next we have to implement for website. So website URL. So here let's if empty, and inside this let's say post, and remember the name attribute value we have for the website URL something called user underscore URL. So simply I will copy, then go here, let's pass here. So errors object add method, and here let's say user underscore URL underscore error, and inside the second argument of this add method let's say website URL is required, and finally we want like password and confirm password, so let's copy to save our time. So this one is for password, fill this password, and here let's say password underscore error, let's say password. Now the same pattern of code I will go and copy and paste. This is for confirm password. So the field was called confirm password error, and here it will be, let's say, confirm password is required. So if I go and confirm this name attribute value of this confirm password, so we can see that confirm password, which is okay. Now one more validation we have to implement, that the value what we enter inside this password field should match what value we enter inside this confirm password. So here let's put one more validation, that is password match. So here if what the value we enter inside this post variable called password, let's go here, and what the value we enter inside here, let's go and copy. If it is not equals to this value, so in that case here let's say errors object add method, and here let's say password match error, and here password and confirm password. does not match. Save these changes. And before this validation, we have to also put like if it is not empty, if it is not empty, logical and operator, and also this field is also required to match this case. Now successfully, after adding all these error messages inside by using this errors object, simply at the last of this function simply returns errors object. Save these changes so you can see that here inside this callback function we have passed three parameters, and by using this only errors object here we have stored according to our input fields all the error messages. So if I save these changes, let's go to browser and see that how it works. If I go and reload, so for example, let's put some value inside this username, email value, it says sample at the test.com. So we can see that we are not passing any value for this first name, last name. Let's click on this register button. So here error messages now generated. We can see first name is required, last name is required, website URL is required. So it means what the fields we have added now successfully by using our errors object and add method. Now successfully we have added form validation. So here we have completed two important tasks. First was that how to add custom fields inside registration form. Second, how to put form validation. Now next we have to see an important concept that if suppose we pass all these informations, how to save those informations inside our database table. So what I will do, first I will go and close these functions, close this one, and here to save our data, save data to WordPress database, I will use one more action hook and it will be called user underscore register. So here WordPress custom registration form, our plugin prefix underscore, let's say handle, form, submit, and inside this callback function, I have to pass an user ID. Now the question is, how do I know that I have to pass an user ID inside this callback function? It's very simple. Simply copy any action hook what you are using. I'll just copy, then I will go here and search user register WP hook. If I go and search, click on this first link, and as per the documentation here, if I use this action hook, simply we have to pass an user ID. So what to do? I'll go here. Let's copy this callback function and here save user data function, function name, user ID. So first thing first, we have to get the first name. So what to do? If not empty, let's say post here. And here, if I pass the name attribute of first name, so first name, and before saving this value, let's go to our database table. So if we create any user inside WordPress, we have to use two tables. First is the most important called WP underscore users. But inside these tables, you can see that we actually not have all the sufficient columns. For example, first name is not available, last name is also not available, even we don't have any password. So here we have only the username, the email value, and the website URL. So what to do for first name, we have to use the another table called user meta, and here it is. So inside this user meta table we have to go and use WordPress functions. By the help of meta key we can save our meta value. So what to do here, I'll go and use update underscore user meta function. It's a WordPress function. First argument we have to pass user ID, then we have to first pass the meta key called first name and the value. So by using this post here it will be called first underscore name. So here, by the help of this line of code, we are saving our first name into our user meta table. Now next I will copy the same line of code and let's paste here. This time this will be for last name, user ID. Then here we have last name and here we have last name. Now next we want to save one more value and that is called user URL, and remember this user URL field or column we have inside WP users table. So to save that, what to do? So here we have to check first that if it is not empty, if it is not empty, so instead of saving inside our meta table, I will prefer our WP users table. So we have to use wp underscore update user is another WordPress function. And here let's pass an array, and inside this array, the first value we have to pass the user ID, and the second value we want to update this column called user underscore URL, and we get that value from this post variable. So simply copy and put it here. So here we can see that successfully we are saving our first name, last name, website URL. Now we have to set the user password, what we are basically filling inside our password field. So here, what I will do, simply I will go and let's copy this piece of code. So if password is not empty, it means we have some password. So I will use the concept of wp underscore set password is another WordPress function. And look at here, we have to pass our password value, and then we have to pass user ID as the second argument value. So this is the password, pass it here, and then we have to pass the user ID. So successfully, now here we have all the code of this first name, last name, website URL, and the password value. And one more thing, that additionally we can add some more checkpoints to these functions. And what basically it is, for example, I want to sanitize this value before save. So what to do, we have also the WordPress function called sanitize underscore text field. Look at here and pass it here. So it means that before saving this value inside this meta key, first it will go and sanitize, and after sanitization it will go and update our meta table. So in the same pattern you can do for last name, website URL, and password. And one more thing, that before getting this value, also we have to check that this key is available by using insert function of PHP. Simply, first, we are checking that if this key is available and not empty, then we have to save inside our meta key. So let's copy and do for this field as well. So each set, put it here, logical, and it means these two conditions must be satisfied. Let's copy each set, put it here, and finally I will do for this password. So let's copy each set, password, and here. And one more thing, after registration of any user, what we want, let's say that I want automatically login. Like after registration, I want that that user automatically will be also logged in. So what to do here, wp underscore, let's say set underscore current user, it's a WordPress function, and let's pass user ID. And also wp underscore set, let's auth cookie, and here let's pass user ID, not user email, it's user ID. And finally, we want like redirect here. So redirect, and we want to go into home URL of that WordPress website. And finally, exit. Save all these changes. Let's go and do some experiment here. So I will go and reload. And here, let's say fake user. So fake underscore user, fake underscore fake.com is the email value. Fake name here. Website, some dummy value. Let's choose a password that is from 1 to 8, 1 to 8. And if I go, let's reload this WP users table. We have only this single user. So I will go after passing all these informations. Let's click on register. And now we can see that successfully user has been registered into this WordPress website. And after registration successfully, we can see that also we are logged in into this WordPress website. So if I go and click on this edit profile, and now we can see that here we have the username, first name, last name, nickname, display name, email value, website URL, and automatically what the password we have given, and that is the password of this logged in user. If I and also if we want to confirm all these values inside our DB tables, first I will go and reload this structure. So reload here, reload here. So first I will go inside this WP users table, and now here we can see that our username, user password, user nickname, user email, and our website URL. In the same way, if I go into a user meta table, let's go and click here, and descending order, like the umeta id descending order. So we can see that here we have the user id equals to 3, and look at here, here we have the nickname, first name, and last name. so successfully. Now inside this complete video, now we have the complete idea that how to create our own custom plugin, and after activation of that plugin, how to add our own custom fields inside registration form. And successfully we have done like all the form validation, and successfully after getting all those informations, also we have created that user inside our WordPress. And one more thing, if I go and let's click on logout button, let's log in with the admin details like admin, click on login. Then I will go into users, and now you can see that here we have the user's information. So by default, what the user we register from front end, it will go as a subscriber user role. Let's click on edit, and now you can see that here we have all those like pre-filled informations. Remember, previously, if we have no fields inside a registration form, so at that time we have only two fields called username and email value. So it means after creating any user, all those users, all those informations we have to fill after getting into this admin panel. But here, after creating our custom plugin, after creating our concept, now here we have all these informations what basically we can provide from front end. So successfully, I hope that this complete video is too much helpful for you to get the complete idea that how to create your own custom fields inside registration form. So please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and share this video as much as you can in your circle. So for this video session, guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.